Kansas, the land of gray. The prairie stretches endlessly beneath a washed-out Kansas sky. Dust swirls across the barren ground, whispering through a weather-beaten farmhouse. Inside, a little girl named Dorothy Gale sits by the window, her small face pressed against the glass. The horizon offers nothing but flat earth and silence. Her only joy is her tiny dog, Toto, a scrappy black terrier whose bark is the only lively sound for miles. Together they roam the farm, chased by the wind and the weary voices of her aunt and uncle, Auntie Em and Uncle Henry, who work from dawn till dusk with no time for dreams. But Dorothy is a dreamer. She stares into the distance and starts to sing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow," longing for something more, for color, for wonder, for a world beyond the gray. All of a sudden, Miss Gulch comes by, a sharp-faced woman in black who rides her bicycle like a curse. She claims Toto bit her, and the law gives her the right to take him away. Dorothy's heart breaks as Miss Gulch locks Toto in a basket and pedals off. But love doesn't surrender so easily. Toto escapes and leaps into Dorothy's arms. Terrified by Miss Gulch, Dorothy runs away. She meets Professor Marvel, a traveling showman with kind eyes and a wagon full of trinkets. He sees her innocence, reads her future in his crystal ball, and gently persuades her to go home. "They're worried about you, child," he says softly. As Dorothy races back across the prairie, the wind begins to howl. The sky turns green and angry. A cyclone forms, twisting down from the heavens like a living thing. She runs, shouting for Aunt Em, but the storm is faster. The house trembles, the windows shatter. Dorothy hurries inside the house with Toto, and the whole house lifts from the ground. The world outside spins into chaos. Fences, trees, a cow, even Miss Gulch on her bicycle whirl through the air. Dorothy clings on to Toto as the house sails through the sky like a drifting boat. She falls asleep. Dorothy awakes in a world of many colors. When Dorothy opens her eyes, everything is quiet again. She rises, dazed, and opens the front door, and suddenly the screen bursts into brilliant color. She steps out into a land of shining flowers and sparkling light. Giant blossoms sway in the breeze. A rainbow arcs across the sky. Dorothy kneels to Toto and says, "Toto, I've a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore." From behind the bushes emerge small, cheerful people, the Munchkins, who bow and giggle and sing. "You've killed her," they cry joyfully. "The Wicked Witch of the East is dead." Dorothy turns to see, indeed, beneath her fallen house are two legs wearing glittering red shoes. Out of nowhere, a swirl of pink light forms nearby. Glinda, the Good Witch of the North, appears in front of her. Glinda thanks Dorothy for saving the Munchkins and gives her the witch's shoes. "They have magic," she says, "but only the great and powerful Wizard of Oz can help." "But how do I find the wizard?" Dorothy asks. "Just follow the yellow brick road," Glinda replied. "Just follow the yellow brick road." Dorothy looks down the shining yellow brick road. Her journey has just begun. Singing, "I'm off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz." The Scarecrow. As Dorothy and Toto follow the road, they come to a cornfield. A scarecrow, bright-eyed and lopsided, hangs from a pole, sighing to himself. Dorothy helps him down, brushing straw from his clothes. "I haven't got a brain," he says mournfully. "Only straw. If I only had a brain." "But you talk!" Dorothy laughs. "That's clever enough for anyone." Encouraged, the Scarecrow joins her. "I'll go to the Emerald City and ask the wizard for a brain," he declares. They set off arm in arm, skipping down the yellow brick road, laughing and singing. "We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz." The Tin Woodman. Deep in the woods, they hear a strange squeaking sound and find a man made entirely of tin, frozen stiff with an axe in his hand. Dorothy oils his joints until he can move again. "Ah, much better," he sighs gratefully. "But my heart, it's missing. The Wicked Witch enchanted my axe, and bit by bit I lost every part of myself. Now I'm all tin and hollow inside." "If I only had a heart," Dorothy smiles kindly and says, "then we'll ask the wizard to give you a heart." Together they continue down the road, Dorothy, Toto, Scarecrow, and the Tin Man singing, "We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz, the Cowardly Lion." In a dark forest, a mighty lion leaps out with a roar that shakes the trees. Toto barks. Dorothy steps back, but then she notices the lion's trembling paws. "I'm such a coward," he admits tearfully. "I even scare myself." Dorothy comforts him. "We're going to see the wizard. Maybe he can help you." The lion's eyes opened. "Oh, that would be wonderful. Then I would have some courage." So they all march together singing, "We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz." The poppy fields. Their laughter fades as the road leads them into a field of scarlet poppies. The scent is sweet and sends them into sleep. One by one they sink to the ground. After some time, snowflakes begin to fall, gentle, glittering snow that breaks the spell. Dorothy wakes up first, then the others. "Glinda must have sent it," the Scarecrow says. "She's watching over us." They hurry on until the last of the yellow brick road ends, and before them stands the shimmering Emerald City, its towers gleaming under the sun. The Wizard of Oz. Our four friends, Scarecrow, Tin Man, Cowardly Lion, and Dorothy, are led through vast doors into the throne room of the great and powerful Wizard of Oz. A booming voice fills the chamber. "Who dares disturb the wizard?" They tremble. Smoke and fire swirl around a giant floating head. "I am Dorothy from Kansas," she says bravely. "Please, sir, I only wish to go home." The wizard's fiery eyes flash. "You must first prove yourselves worthy. Bring me the broomstick of the Wicked Witch of the West, and then I shall grant your requests." The four leave the city, hearts heavy with fear, the home of the Wicked Witch. High in her dark, stormy castle, the Wicked Witch of the West watches them through her crystal ball. She cackles a shriek that echoes through the valleys. "So, the little girl wants to play hero, eh?" She sends wolves, crows, and flying monkeys to stop them. Dorothy's friends tried protect her, the Tin Man swinging his axe, the Scarecrow planned clever ideas, and the lion roared through his fear. But the winged monkeys swooped down and carried Dorothy and Toto to the witch's fortress. The witch wanted the ruby slippers, but the ruby slippers protected Dorothy from her touch. Furious, the witch enslaves her and sets her to work. Days pass. Then, in a moment of defiance, Dorothy throws a bucket of water on the witch. To her horror, the witch screams and melts into a puddle, her voice fading into nothing. Dorothy stares, trembling. She's gone. She's really gone. She takes the witch's broomstick, and with the help of the winged monkey's final wish, returns to the Emerald City. The man behind the curtain. The wizard greets them, or rather, the head greets them. "You have done well," he says. But when Toto pulls back a curtain, the truth is revealed. Behind it stands a small, nervous man, pulling levers and speaking into a microphone. "I'm so sorry," he says. "I'm not a real wizard at all. I'm just an old balloonist from Omaha. I landed here by accident, and the people thought I was magic." Dorothy's eyes fill with tears. "Then you can't help me get home?" The wizard smiles. "My dear, you've always had the power to go home." He gave Scarecrow a diploma. Scarecrow says, "Sum of the square roots of any two sides of an isosceles triangle is equal to the square root of the remaining side." Oh, joy rapture, I've got a brain. Tin Man believed he needed a real heart to feel emotion. Wizard presents him with a heart-shaped watch and says, "A heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others." The wizard announces, "For extraordinary valor, conspicuous bravery against wicked witches, I award you the Triple Cross." The lion proudly says, "Aw shucks, it was nothing," as they prepare to leave. The basket lifts, but at the last moment, Toto jumps out. Dorothy runs after him and the balloon drifts away without her. The wizard is gone. Dorothy is stranded once again. The power of the shoes. Heartbroken, Dorothy turns to Glinda, the Good Witch of the South, who appears in a bubble of pink light. "My dear," Glinda says softly, "you've always had the power to return home all along. All you have to do is click your heels together 3 times and wish." Dorothy hugs each of her friends goodbye, the Scarecrow now wise, the Tin Man now kind and whole, and the Lion now brave and proud. "I'll miss you most of all," she whispers. Then she closes her eyes and clicks her heels. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Back in Kansas, the wind rises, the world spins, and suddenly everything is quiet again. Dorothy opens her eyes. She's back in her little bed in Kansas. Aunt Em leans over her, worried and relieved. "Toto's here and you're safe," she says. "You've been asleep. You had a pretty nasty bump on your head." Dorothy looks around at the gray walls, yet now they seem full of light. "Oh, Aunt Em, it wasn't a dream, or maybe it was, but it was real, too. And you were there. And you. And you." She hugs Toto tightly. "But I'm home, and there's no place like home." The camera pulls back. The Kansas sky is still gray, but now, somehow, it feels brighter. The end.